Hey, what's up guys? I thought I'd make this video because I utilize this champion the most on my solo grind to Challenger. As far as getting to Challenger, I had an above 80% win rate, I would say, until I made my account public. Therefore, a lot of stream snipers, a lot of people started focusing me in games and denying me, so my win rate ever since has fallen. But anyways, I think you guys will have a lot of success with her. Yes, she is a good jungler, and I hope this video helps you out. Leave a like if it does. Thanks for watching. So for KAISA's passive, her basic attacks deal bonus magic damage. Also, her basic attacks Void Seeker and nearby allies immobilizing effects mark enemies with plasma for 4 seconds, stacked up to 4 times. So if your Renekton goes for a stun on Camille, you can ult and I'll go over that later. At 4 plasma stacks, KAISA's next attack ruptures the target, dealing bonus missing health as magic damage, capping at 400 against monsters. I'll also go over this later. There's an unexpected burst that goes through with this. For KAISA's Q, she releases a swarm of 6 missiles that evenly distribute among nearby enemies, each dealing physical damage. Non-minions take 30% damage from missiles beyond the first. So this will be the first spell you want to look to evolve, because it's the most damage you get, the burst. You're clear, pretty much. It's very useful. For her W, KAISA fires a Void Blast in the target direction, stopping at the first enemy hit, dealing magic damage, revealing for 4 seconds and applying 2 plasma. So this spell is actually very useful if you're against a stealth champ like Kha'Zix, Wukong, Shaco, anything like that. It allows her to duel them early game because you don't lose sight of them and you can actually be able to pick your fights. As far as being similar to Jhin, you can also look for long range snipe executes, and this can also allow you to get on your ult. KAISA's E charges for 1.2 seconds, decreasing down to 0.6 seconds depending on her bonus attack speed. While charging up, KAISA gains bonus movement speed, increasing up to 100% based on her bonus attack speed. After charging up, KAISA gains bonus attack speed for 5 seconds. KAISA's basic attacks reduce supercharges cooldown by 0.5 seconds. So this is basically your initiation and self-peel spell. Use this to initiate ganks or to run away if someone's chasing you. At 100% bonus attack speed, supercharge grants invincibility while charging, so you can stealth as well, which just makes it really nice as an AD carry. It's basically the same thing as Vayne's Q during her ultimate. And finally, the most simplistic spell in KAISA's kit, her ultimate. KAISA dashes to a target location near an enemy champion with plasma and shields herself for 3 seconds. So like I said, if someone immobilizes a target, you can get a stack of plasma from that and ult onto them. Your W, long range, can initiate on them as well. Your auto attacks and your Q. So that's your ways of getting into backline territory or just chasing someone pretty much. And the shield you get is really big once you have more items. As far as clearing goes, there's really nothing too advanced for me to demonstrate for you guys. So the hardest thing, I guess, is to be able to auto QE. So you auto someone or a camp, and then you QE during the duration of your auto attack getting a refresh, and then you just lead up with autos. That is the first combo you must be mastering as KAISA. It's really simple. It's just you have to get a hang of it at first, not Eing before Qing, knowing the range of your Q. That's the only hard concept about it. Another tip I can give you guys is that you do missing health on your 5th plasma stack. So make sure you use your spells to auto attack as much as you can before actually popping that last 5th plasma stack. You're going to do this a lot on your first few rotations, where you're going to need way more autos. So just get your spells in there and make sure to get as many 5th plasma stacks off as you can. So the most important part about playing a jungler is having the right setup. And as far as the runes go, the first tree I go with is a precision tree. Taking the press to attack keystone is just pretty much perfect for a jungler. KAISA especially. She wants to attack someone numerous times with auto attacks and then get all her extra damage and spells in. After that I go for overheal, which I will get into depth later once I go through the item build, but it is way better than Triumph in my opinion. After that we take Alacrity for the attack speed. I've had some people go Bloodline. They said it's okay, but I prefer just early game DPS, better clear, better DPS pretty much. And finally Coup de Grace, you can go cut down as well. I think Coup de Grace is better for the unexpected damage early game. For the secondary tree, I would give you guys 2 options. I personally go Domination. I feel like Sudden Impact and Ravenous Hunter are just overall better, because as far as her kit goes, she has a lot of magic damage and physical damage, so having the Sudden Impact proc is very nice, and she also uses her dash very often, so she can get that off a lot in team fights later stage in the game. And Ravenous Hunter is just a lot of unexpected healing from your Q, and since it's considered a non-AoE spell, you get a lot of healing once you have a few Ravenous Hunter procs. So that's the setup I go with personally. The other setup you can go with is Sorcery. You can go for Celerity, Gathering Storm, or Celerity Water Walking, or also even Absolute Focus. I've had some people go. But I personally don't like that setup because I feel like doing your camps early game, you'll take a lot of damage. So it's just up to preference really. Now that we know KAISA's abilities and runes you should go with, we want to go over the build path. So as far as her build, my personal preference is going for Red Smite Warrior every game, just for the influx of AD you get. You want to get your Q evolution as soon as possible. I've had people tell me go Blood Razor. I personally don't like it at all. I feel like the unexpected damage on low cooldown on your Q is just way more useful. After that, it really depends on how much gold you have. So if you have enough gold for boots, just go with boots. If you have enough gold for a pickaxe and longsword, go for that. If you have enough gold for a BF sword, go with that, because you want to get your Q evolution as soon as possible. And once you have the AD from a pickaxe plus a longsword or a BF sword, you will have enough for your evolution on your Q. After getting our Q evolution as soon as possible, you want to look forward to getting our E evolution as soon as possible. So that's really up to you. If you prefer going Berserker Greaves, Ninja Tab, or Merc Treads, I personally go Greaves for the most part because I want to do as much DPS as possible. But to do so, I have to play way more safer because Ninja Tab I have recently been nerfed. So I think Greaves is just a better option overall. Merc Treads are like extremely situational. You have to have a lot of CC. And after that, this is where the interesting items get into play. So your first Zeal item is going to be Phantom Dancer or Runaan's Hurricane. I don't think Static Shift is that good anymore, in my opinion. And as far as PD versus Runaan's, if you want to just farm up a Storm, I go Runaan's to have better clear, better wave pushing when I'm split pushing as well, and to clear my camp sooner. If they have like a super heavy assassin team, like, I don't know, Kha'Zix, Shaco, champs like that, they're going to be on you, you might need the reduced damage. It's just up to the game standards, really. After you finish your first Zeal item, you want to get the remainder of the attack speed to finish your E evolution as soon as possible. So bear in mind, you do get bonus attack speed from leveling up, so that does count on your total attack speed. But for the most part, you just want to reach 100% as soon as possible, so you can be more of a threat in team fights and assassinating people. And then after that is when you get your Death Dance, which is really amplified by Ravenous Hunter. It's just such a great item on her for the CDR, the immense healing you get from your spells, and it's just obviously really well synergetic. With the dagger you build for some attack speed, you will finish that into a recurved bow, and you'll finish your Ginsu with that as well. So at this point, you should have your boots, which are probably going to be Greaves for the most part, your Red Smite Warrior. In my opinion, the best Zeal item on her is going to be Runaan's, your Death Dance, and your Runaan's. And as far as the last item goes, if you went for an early BF sword, it's going to be a Guardian's Angel for the most part. I don't think you need more damage with like IE or anything. I mean, if you need it, by all means go ahead if you have a really strong front line and your team has tanks as well. If not, you go for like a Maul of Malmortius, really anything that's going to help you stay alive longer or just kill them faster. I personally don't think Nashor's Tooth is that great on her. I think it's okay for AD carry KAISA for the W evolution, but I don't like it for the most part. I feel like Wit's End does the exact same thing. It's just really preference. Now that we have all our setups intact, I'll go over the often clear path that I go for on KAISA. So if I'm on purple side, I will start red buff, I'd say 100% of the time. I don't really take into account matchups or even jungle matchups for the most part. I just want to finish red buff as soon as possible, and that is done with the bottom lane leash. After that, personally, I prefer taking W. I've tested both E and W, and I felt like W is faster clear. I will do red to blue into Gromp, and I'll finish Gromp at about 219 and get a point into E. At that point, you want to look for either an invade, a gank, or just finish your wolves. It's just all preference or situationally dependent. So if you're against a Lee Sin that you know is going to be topside, you will look for either a play on him or just play safe in your own jungle if you don't think he's going to invade you, or look for a gank in your laners. If you're on purple side, you can go for the same clear, obviously starting top side instead. If not, you want to start bot side and either do wolves into red or Gromp wolves red. Typically that will leave your red buff more prone to an invade if you're against a heavy aggressive early game jungler. But for the most part, I'll take E level 2 and do wolves into red. I'll skip my Gromp, which is a bit inefficient early game because you get more XP. The earlier you clear it, the earlier it's going to respawn and the extra XP you'll get. But for the most part, when I start on purple side, there are way more gank opportunities because I know for a fact 99% of junglers start bot side and lower elo. So you can just take advantage of that, look for an early gank, look for an early counterplay, and snowball the game out of control, really. As far as ganking goes, KAISA is a bit different compared to the other range junglers. The first way you can gank someone is obviously the option of flanking them from behind. So once you're behind them, you want to sneak up and press your E so you can walk towards them faster and then get into range as soon as possible to slow them with your auto attacks and red buff, whatever. The second option you have to force a gank is to W from long range and then ult on top of them in order to close the gap. So your R range is a bit shorter than your W range, so make sure you can close the gap on that range by flashing or eating or just walking towards them. Most people don't know the range, obviously, so it's really important to have the proper indicator on that. And finally, the last way to follow up a gank is by having one of your teammates immobilize a target. So any stun, any bit of hard CC, you can easily just ult into that. So you don't have to land your W. You get your free plasma stacks from any bit of duration CC. Here are the pros and cons in playing KAISA jungle. So the first pro I can give you is unexpected high burst. At level 3, a lot of people do not respect the 5 plasma stack from your W. So if someone has like 3 plasma stacks and a really low and coup de grace range, if you land your W, it goes from 3 to 5 stacks, which is the missing health proc, and they will sometimes get hit for like 200, 250 damage and actually get killed. And they won't like flash or heal. I've had this happen so many times. I'll even show you a clip of this, but for the most part, it's really unexpected and it's a lot of damage early game. The next pro is fast clear and high HP in the jungle. So this is pretty much self-explanatory. She has an attack speed steroid. Ravenous Hunter overheal. You'll probably never be low health once you have a few takedowns from your Ravenous Hunter procs. Another pro is her Baron damage and Dragon. So she does objectives really fast. Doesn't lose much health because of your build path and can pretty much solo Elder once you have a few items. And she does both magical, physical damage, which is really hard to itemize against. So like I said, sudden impact, she has magic damage and fizz damage, lethality, magic pen, easy. Finally, the last pro is the enemy team does not get to play her. So the enemy ADC that's been hovering KAISA the whole champ select will not get to play KAISA, and you'll get to play her instead. Great pro. For KAISA's cons, she has no good CC except for range auto attacks with red buff. So she really has no CC whatsoever. She just has a lot of good DPS, a lot of burst, but no way of having any utility outside of that. So if she ever falls behind, she's not going to be like an Ashe or a Sivir that can actually help your teammates do more in team fights. Another con is her initiation can get cancelled versus good players. So if you ult into someone and they mid-air stop your transition, your flight, you will get cancelled and be in front of them, which has happened to me a lot and lost me a few games actually. The final con I can think of is that she has to be in vulnerable positions to do damage. So since we don't go for rapid fire cannon, we're going to be in positions that we're autoing people in their face pretty much because the range isn't the biggest, and in team fights, if you get hard CC like Galio flash taunt onto you and have no QSS, you're pretty much dead and can end up losing your team the game. Just comes down to really good position. As far as matchups in the jungle, I think there's only one specific champ I've had issues with, and that champion is Jax. So as far as Jax goes, he can block your auto attacks with his dodge, which allows you to not get your plasma stacks off. Also, he has an ultimate that makes him take less damage from physical and magical spells with the armor and MR from it. So since KAISA is a hybrid champion, that really hurts her in the later stages or even early stages of the game. As far as other matchups go, like Nunu, Warwick, KAISA doesn't have that many problems against them. Even though like Nunu builds full armor, full health, she will still have the items. If she doesn't fall behind, like easily kill him. The issue is going to come down to champs with super hard CC and like shields. So if they have like a Braum pretty much counters every range champ in the game. Graves, Kindred, all these junglers that get hard countered by Braum. KAISA is the same thing. If he can get in a spot to block all her incoming damage and get hit by a Q or an ultimate, she's pretty much dead. Other junglers like Sejuani will not be able to duel KAISA 1v1, but in team fights, if she does get hit by their hard CC, she might be in a lot of trouble because getting out of those sticky situations is not easy at all. If you watched the entire video, I can't thank you guys enough. It really took a lot of time and effort. I have to spam this champion so much to find the most optimal builds. I honestly don't think I've figured out everything about her so far, so even if I figure out something else, I'll leave in the comment section below, pin something, hopefully it helps you guys out. But anyways, hope you guys really liked this video. If you did, leave a like, it'll be great, it helps me a lot. We're on the road to 200k subs, really close actually, so I'm going to make a video on that if we do end up reaching it. Thank you guys, love you all, and have a nice day. Peace.